What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Mo, and today I'll be going through my current draft for the FPL game this season. This is my draft number 3, which I'm going to be going through, and I'm going to be talking about my thought process, why I've chosen this team, what my early transfers are going to look like, and when I'm looking to play my wild card. So this is my Reece James draft version. So the reason for that is I'll be starting off with this team in itself, and then coming into the next couple of weeks, I've got enough funds or a strategy available to get a Chelsea defender, ideally Reece James, as we stand into my draft. But before we get into my team, guys, if you like what you see and you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, give us a like as well. So let's get stuck in, guys. So player number 1 is Onana. So Andre Onana came in last week to this game, guys, and he's already owned by 13% of managers. One of the biggest questions that I've been thinking about is, do I want to double up on Manchester United's defence? So I'm already definitely thinking about the consideration, but in terms of Onana, I've kind of put him in as my goalkeeper at the moment. Sure, I'll probably wait and see what I see in pre-season, but in terms of fixtures, the first 2 out of the 3 fixtures, Wolves at home and Nottingham Forest at home, are absolutely fantastic. Manchester United last season were phenomenal at home. Completely parallel away on the road, but they got Spurs and Arsenal within the first 4 game weeks. So plenty of save point opportunities, maybe a clean sheet as well, but Onana goes in straight away. Brighton, Burnley, Palace, Brentford, Sheffield. So another good stretch of fixtures from Manchester United. So maybe I want to double up on the attacking front, Rashford, Bruno. That's something that I can consider. But at the moment, from a defensive point of view, I've decided to prefer Onana over Luke Shaw in my squad. Now, why have I called this the Reece James draft? So the Reece James draft, the reason for this is I have £500,000 in budget remaining from my squad. So the squad value for this is £99.5 million. So Estupiñán is currently in my draft. He's been in every single draft that I've had so far. He's owned by around 50% of managers or more at the moment, 51% to be exact. Last season was phenomenal, 128 points, guys, with 8 returns. And fixtures in the first 3 games look absolutely amazing. So Luton at home, Wolves away, and West Ham at home. However, from game week 4, if we take a closer look into their fixtures to game week 9, they're not that great, to be fair. I know Brighton did well last season, but from between game week 5 and 6, there's going to be Champions League. So they've got Newcastle, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Man City. Either side of it, they've got some really good fixtures. So Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham, and Everton. But I'm a bit sceptical about Brighton. So that's why at the moment I've only got Estupiñán in my squad. And the reason why I've called this the Reece James draft is I've got £500,000, as you can see, available in my funds. So if I take Estupiñán out and I've got the Chelsea defenders up here. So early season, pre-season, I'm looking at 2 defenders here at the moment for wing back. So under Poch, Chelsea's going to be interesting to be seen in terms of how their wing backs play. The 2 players that are under my eye are Ben Chilwell and Reece James. So Reece James ideally is my preferential at the moment. He's owned by about nearly 16% of managers. However, Chilwell is about 6%. Now, Chilwell's got more competition for his position. So, for example, Cucurella at the moment. So Reece James is a bit more comfortable. I know there's another player they have it in terms of, I think it's Gusto, his name is. He's owned by 1.6% of managers. But again, ideally, first choice is going to be Reece James. And what kind of helps Chelsea is they don't have any European football. Now, with that, it gives them enough time to kind of like recharge and be ready for the next game week. So for me, Reece James is someone I really want. He has been hampered by injury over the last 3 seasons. But the fixtures for Chelsea, barring the first game, which is Liverpool, from game week, even I will consider West Ham away is a tough game, but even from game week 2 onwards, all the way till Burnley in game week 8, they've got some really, really nice fixtures, and I really want to take advantage of there. West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley. So I really want to have Reece James in there in terms of like his returns, so we can have a look. Generally, at his past seasons, he does have a high ceiling return, so he can have an absolute kind of dead game at 1 or 2 points, or then he can go absolutely big with like 15 to 20 point returns as well. So I want to be part of that if I can get that. If Reece James gets an injury, I know there's been a bit of concern around in pre-season, then Chilwell it is. But let's just say hypothetically, I don't want to go for either wing backs. I've always been interested in Thiago Silva. He was injured for a bit of the last season, but he's pretty much first choice centre-back, especially with Fofana being injured. He always has a presence to get a goal here and there, and he's got some decent points. Despite being in a poor Chelsea squad last year, he got 80 points, which is a high-scoring defender. And again, I want to take advantage of the defence in terms of their fixtures as well. So that's why I'm looking at this from more of a Chelsea perspective. I've got 3 defenders in mind. Reece James comes in at number 1, followed by Chilwell. If not, I've always got Thiago Silva to come in. And I've got $500,000 left, and I can either go from Ake to John Stones, or I could go from Nkunku. Let's see, he doesn't have a good start. I could always go to Watkins later on after game week 8 or 9. So there's no need to spend that straight away. That's the plan going in it, guys. So the Reece James draft comes from that aspect, is I'm looking to take out Estupiñán after the Luton home game. I don't think I want to go without Estupiñán in game week 1, and I don't really want to play a Chelsea defender against Liverpool in game week 1. But I'll take advantage of him. If he gets me a clean sheet and a few returns, great. I might hold on to him for 1 more week. But ideally at the moment, I'm looking to get Reece James in, maybe for the West Ham game in game week 2 for sure. I want to be ahead of the game. And if I see potential in the first game against Liverpool, then straight into the Chelsea defence I will go in terms of win backs. So, going to my centre-backs, so my other 2 defenders is going to be William Saliba and Gabriel. So owned by nearly 15% of managers. Saliba, fantastic season last year. Before he got injured, 3 returns in terms of goals and assists. Bonus points 14. He was a high scoring defender at one point and the most selected by teams as well, because he was just in great form, to be fair. In terms of Arsenal, great fixtures again. A lot of people are targeting the offensive line, so Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard. However, for myself, I've gone a bit opposite. I've gone for the double defence of Arsenal. So no Ramsdale, but 2 centre-backs who I'm pretty much certain they're nailed. Gabriel as well, selected by nearly 19% of managers, 3 goals last season, 146 points. I think he's underpriced personally. Could have been 5.5 easily, but it's a really good fixture run as well. So I've gone for double Arsenal, guys, in my defence. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you going to be going with myself? So maybe you're going Ramsdale, Gabriel, or Ramsdale, Saliba, even Zinchenko. What are your thoughts? Let me know in terms of your selection. So I know John Stones got a goal yesterday in terms of the pre-season friendly for Manchester City, but I'm still going for Nathan Ake, who's the left-sided or left-back of the Manchester City defence. Do I believe that he's worth the extra $500,000? Yes, he'll probably get more game time without injury, but 92 points last season, not bad. 22 starts. I think he'll get more starts this season, and Man City had just had an incredible run as well. So a lot of games for a lot of big teams who we consider have a good fixture run. So Burnley away. It's not going to be an easy game, guys, by the way, that first game. I'm quite surprised it's only a fixture difficulty of 2. I would have given it 3. Newcastle at home is not going to be easy, even though they won like 5-0 last season. Sheffield United, Fulham, West Ham, Forest, Wolves. City are slow starters traditionally, so maybe the hype around getting all those City attackers in might not be the best thing to originally start with, so maybe a bit of defensive cover. Edison I'd avoid, but Nathan Ake, John Stones, maybe even Ruben Diaz, in my opinion, might be a good shout. So yeah, for me, I've gone for Ake, save that extra $500,000, and I want to invest that within an attacking wing back in terms of Reece James or Chilwell. Cancelo is interesting. I'm not sure if he's staying or not, but he scored pre-season, so potentially, who knows, he may stay. But that's my back line, guys. And in terms of my midfield, I have Eze. Again, he's been all my drafts that I've kind of like had in my FPL game this season. He's been all of my videos as well. Not going to move away from him. He's just an absolutely incredible player to watch. 159 points last season, 15 returns. Bonus point king, in my opinion. 21 bonus points with 30 starts as well. I know a lot of people are going Mbembo or maybe Matoma, but I've kind of decided to go for Eze simply for the fact he's the main talisman for Crystal Palace. Zaha's most likely going to be leaving. Sheffield United away is going to be a nice game. Arsenal's not going to be the easiest game, but they're at home. And they got Brentford away, Wolves at home, Aston Villa, Fulham. So not too bad fixtures. I'm not looking at it from a defensive point of view. Can he get me a few returns? Most certainly. And I think, in terms of if Palace do well, he will get you most returns as well. And most likely going to be on penalties as well. Just like Eze, Mo Salah has pretty much remained in all of my drafts. His ownership's gone down since my last draft, so he's gone down below 25% now. He was about 26 last time, but he's 24.5% owned. 239 points, guys, and 32 returns last season. It was considered one of his slower seasons and not the best seasons, but he's still got, you know, nearly a return a game. 23 bonus points. A lot of people are making the decision of whether they want to go Trent or Salah. I've gone Salah personally. I haven't gone Trent. I may live to regret that, but there's a wild card there for a reason. So Salah is kind of like, you know it's trusted. Chelsea away is not going to be an easy game, but he's got a phenomenal record against them home and away. Bournemouth at home is where I'm looking to captain him as it stands, unless Haaland gets like a hat-trick or he goes absolutely wild against Burnley. Most likely Bournemouth's going to be the game where I captain Salah. I want to play different. I want to be aggressive when I start. So I think Salah at home would be a good shot. They got 9 goals last season, guys. I know he wasn't part of it, but he's got hat-tricks against Bournemouth previously at home. So I think there might be a good chance he could go big in game week 2. Newcastle away is not going to be an easy game, but they won 3-0 there last season. Villa, Wolves, West Ham, Spurs, Brighton, Everton. I think there's some really good fixtures for Salah, and he can definitely go big at the start of the season. And then Bukayo Saka, Mr. Reliable, one of the highest owned players in the game, I should say, at 202 points, 26 returns. Arsenal's fixtures we've already discussed. Mr. Reliable, pre-season looks amazing. He's on set pieces. A lot of people are thinking of maybe a double or triple up on the forward line, but he's, for me, kind of like essential for my draft. Underpriced again at 8.5 mil. A really, really good return and a strong start to the season, I think, will be there for Bukayo Saka to take advantage of. Now, according to my previous draft, another change I've made in this draft is Bruno Fernandes rather than Rashford to free up that £0.5 million. There's a lot of reasons for this. I watched him pre-season in a couple of games. He looks phenomenal. Last season, there's a lot of underlying stats that I've kind of looked into where he's hit the post about, I think, 5 or 6 times. And there's a lot of chances that was wasted by the United front line or other players that he created chances for. Hopefully that can change and his 17 returns can become maybe 20, maybe 25. I think he's underpriced at 8.5 mil on penalties as well. And as we've discussed, a good fixture run for Manchester United, and he's the captain now. And I do expect him to go big. With Mount being part of the squad, I can expect him to push further forward. Casemiro, Eriksen providing with a cover as well in the squad. So Bruno comes into my squad, and I am happy to have at least one United forward, which is going to be Bruno Fernandes. And then, of course, in 86.2% of managers' drafts, that's phenomenal, guys, considering like we're getting more managers join day by day. We're around 2.6 mil managers now. It's going up. So everyone wants to have a piece of Haaland. And it's not surprising why. 45 returns, 33 starts, 272 points. He can certainly replicate that. We've gone through City's fixtures, and look at that. I think there'll be a strong start for him. The only risk is rotation. Will Alvarez get more minutes? Will Foden kind of like playing a bit more further role? We just don't know what's going to happen. But I think more than likely he's going to feature in every single game at the start of the season. And then last but not least, we've got INKLING. I've been watching him very closely in the pre-season. He's been absolutely amazing. He's got a few goals. His ownership's around 20%, 7.5 mil. He's most likely going to be on penalties as well. And I want to get in there first in terms of Chelsea in itself. Will I triple up on Chelsea? I don't know. I potentially could. But I want to get the piece of like their front line. So Raheem Sterling's there at 7 mil. Potentially that £0.5 million I could upgrade Eze to Sterling if I see there's some potential pre-season or even in the first game week. So that's the good thing about having the extra £0.5 million in the bank. So that's where I've gone different this year, guys. I want to go into game week 2 with some funds in place. And even in game week 3, even if I don't make a transfer, I have 2 transfers and I have some funds available already. If not, I can obviously take some funds out of the squad anyway to arrange it or rearrange it elsewhere. But that's how it's looking at the moment, guys. I really want to play and take advantage of most of the good fixtures from most of the squads that are playing at the moment. So that's how its setup looks at the moment. So a few changes that I've made, and Reece James most likely to come in game week 2. On the bench, Areola remains pretty, popular in terms of choice, in terms of 4 mil keepers. We are thinking that he might be number 1 choice for West Ham. So it's nice to have a keeper on the bench who is potentially going to be number 1 for West Ham. Not great fixtures to begin with. Chelsea and Brighton are tough, but away at Bournemouth and away at Luton isn't going to be easy either. So it's going to be interesting to see how they start. And then they've got City, Liverpool, and then Newcastle in the next out of the 3 or 4 game weeks. So Areola is going to be, the bench option. Not really looking to use him if I've got Onana. Another change I've made on the bench is I've taken out Bell and I've brought in George Baldock. So I watched a bit of pre-season. I watched a bit of last season as well. A wing-back coming in at 4 mil for a promoted side who's going to be playing pretty much every minute. No-brainer for me at the moment. That could obviously change if I look at Bayer or Bell and they do well. I could definitely look at them as well. But he's got 7% ownership. Crystal Palace at home is going to be a good game. Nottingham Forest away is going to be another good game to start off. And they've got Man City and Everton, Spurs, Newcastle. So there's a bit of a mixture of fixtures. But even in the first two games, if I feel that, maybe in the second game week I want to play Baldock in terms of my defensive line, that's someone that I can consider definitely bringing in. Even in game week 4, Arsenal have Manchester United, so I could bench one of my Arsenal centre-backs and I could play him. So there's a lot of options in terms of fixture swings that I want to take advantage from him. And then Marvellous Nakamba still remains in there for Luton. He's going to blank in game week 2, but for me, he's a bench placeholder. I think personally he's the best 4.5 million option going. And look at those fixtures for Luton from game week 4 onwards. They do look actually quite good in terms of a defensive line or even offensive line as well. And then Archer, placeholder as well at 4.5 mil. I want some Aston Villa players, so who knows, I might get Watkins at some point this season. But nearly 7% of managers own him. I think he might get more minutes this season. He's an academy player, and that is what makes up my lineup for the 15. So that's what it is, guys. This is the Reece James kind of draft, I'm going to call it. So Estupinan, game week 1, take advantage of the fixture. Then in game week 2, I'm going to see how Reece James or the Chelsea backline do in the first game. Who looks nailed on? I think Reece James has less competition, so he's probably going to get more game time. Let's hope he's not injured. Then if I do consider that he's more likely to miss out on games, then Chilwell comes in because I have the funds available. If not, I could always look to get let's say even Thiago Silva at 5 mil. So there is options available in terms of what I can do with it. Even if I don't get rid of Estupinan, I've still got the option to, when the fixtures change for Villa later on in the next couple of game weeks, maybe in Cuckoo after Chelsea's spell runs, I can get a bit more insight of how it goes. I can bring in Ollie Watkins. But that's how my squad looks at the moment, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did you like it? Give us a like if you like the video. Hit that subscribe button too. Are these players that what you're looking at? Let me know what your thoughts are. And I'll be back with some very shortly with some more content. Have a good one. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.